has been made in connection with the Nolan Wells case. And the allegations are shocking. Federal authorities say that a Sacramento man was arrested after allegedly sending violent threats targeting Judge Ashlee Cole and her family, who is Warren Hudson's mom. So we're going to go through the actual federal court documents, everything that we have online as we speak, the messages, and what this latest arrest could mean for the Nolan Wells case. So, man, this is crazy, man. How y'all doing? Welcome back to On Go. Hope everybody is well. I'm Uda. If you're new here, make sure that you're subscribing. Make sure that you hit that like button and share this video. But let's get right into this update in the Nolan Wells case, all right? As you can see on the screen right here, let me zoom it in a little bit closer for y'all so y'all can see it a little bit better, all right? Let me zoom the screen in for y'all. Hold up. Let me maximize this. Okay, cool. A Sacramento man arrested, accused of violent threats linked to Nolan Wells' unaliving. A Sacramento man is in custody in Mississippi on federal charge accusing him of sending a direct message over social media threatening to unalive a judge with a connection to the disappearance and the unaliving of Nolan Wells. Earlier this month, according to records filed in this case, Wells, 18, disappeared July 4th during a boat trip with three friends to Horn Island in Jackson, Mississippi, and his body was recovered 2 days later by a National Park Service ranger on a nearby island. Ashlee Cole, a chancery judge whose son was among those three friends, earlier this month posted screenshots of graphic unaliving threats that she said she had received via Facebook from an anonymous account with the username Yay or Yay 962. The Biloxi-based Sun Herald newspaper reported. Joseph Alfredo Vasquez Dumares of Sacramento is being held on a federal charge of interstate transmission of a threatening communication, a crime that carries a maximum sentence of 5 years in prison and a fine up to $250,000 and up to 3 years of post-release supervision. Agents with FBI Safe Street Task Force identified Dumares, who's used the name Yay 962 username, by tracing the email IP addresses associated with the account, including Money Baggio Joe 1916 at gmail.com, along with the date of birth, the phone number, and the street addresses linked to that account. This is actually Ashlee Cole right here. Investigators say that the information resulted in the identity of Dumares as the user behind Yay 962 account that sent the messages to Cole. I guess they subpoenaed YouTube, and then from YouTube, they end up with was able to get the IP addresses. So that's something that you should think about. Many people are making threats online, but this is how it goes. You can be found out, whether you think you want some old miscellaneous username, your IP address is connected to you, and you can be discovered just like this man was discovered right here. The charging document also cited that one of the many messages Dumares sent to Cole included some previously cited by Cole that included threats with pictures of her small minor children, which was crazy. The document also cited that some of the messages included the following: there will be a package coming to your guy's office in the next few days. It's gonna blow you away when you see it, LOL. Probably best to have the boys there to see it as well. Blood, so much blood everywhere, hard to clean, especially from a boat, but yours will be quick, I promise. I got all your info. Not even the FBI can stop this for her, bro. The FBI is on your body, boy. You've learned a different tune today about them 3 letters that you just said. Once that package is open, the timer will start. And then you have maybe 10 seconds or less to ask God for forgiveness. Other messages allegedly threaten that Cole's sons are going to be choked. I'm just going to, for lack of that better word that's on the screen right there. Federal authorities said that the direct messages were sent to Cole's Facebook account in the aftermath of the disappearance and subsequent unaliving of Wells, 18 years old, of Ocean Springs, Mississippi. And these are some of the messages, as you can see. Just to bring this up for y'all a little bit, see? They just started following her at the 19 minutes when she posted this, and they just went to commenting and messaging her one time. Open up your insides. Look at these type of things. I got your email, your phone number, your address. Look what they're gonna do to the little kids till their eyes go red and their lips turn blue. This is scary stuff, man. Slow and painful. Look, I'm going to get you when you leave work. There's gonna be a boom sent to your office, right? It's craziness, man. Cole's stepson, Warren Hudson, was among the group of friends who spent the 4th of July with Wells on Horn Island. Hudson was one of 3 boats. He was on one of 3 boats that traveled to the island with Wells. The friends returned to the mainland without Wells, but had his cell phone. 2 days later, a National Park Service ranger found Wells's body on the northwest tip of Horn Island. Hudson has denied any involvement in his friend's unaliving. Now, this is one of the messages. I'm actually going to pull up her channel as well, but I'll read this message from her channel, which you can see it came from 3 weeks ago. She says, our family, along with the community, grieves the loss of Nolan Wells. Our thoughts and prayers are with Nolan's family. Our son Warren loved Nolan dearly, and unfortunately, I feel that it is appropriate for our family to dispel some of the rumors with facts based upon the social media attention that is being diverted away from the Wells family and their loss. Okay, I just so I can read it real quick for y'all. It says, yes, I deactivated my account, my Facebook account, and I've given the very heightened emotional state of social media right now. I'm going to go into her channel next, so I'll bring up the whole message so that you can actually see everything she said in detail. Okay, she said, according to the investigators, Dumars is among multiple people. Wow. Accused of sending threats to Cole and her family. Dumars in 2019 was arrested by Sacramento Police Department on suspicion of exposing himself to and then attempting to kidnap a 13-year-old girl. My goodness, outside of a Meadowview Elementary School, according to previous Sacramento Bee reporting. According to the entry in Megan's Law, California SEX Offender Registry, Dumars was convicted in 2019 of annoying or, you know the word right here, molesting a child under 18 years of age, and in 2020 of sending harmful matter with the intent of seducing a minor. This is insane. He was released from prison in California in 2023, according to the registry, and he is listed as being a transient in Sacramento. Dr. Benjamin Hudson, Cole's husband, has said the family has received thousands of unaliving threats since Wells disappeared and was later found unalived. Okay, now this is the actual federal document. So we're gonna hold up. Let me just zoom it out so I can show y'all. We're gonna bring up the actual federal document. Hold on, let me go here so I can bring it up like this. All right, cool. As you can see, this is the guy's name. This is the United States. You can see when it was filed. It was filed on the 28th, 2 days ago. Exactly right. Yeah, about two. Let me see. Today's the 31st. So yeah, about 2-3 days ago, it's actually filed. United States versus Joseph Alfredo Vasquez Dumars. It says on or about July 11, 2026 in Jackson County in the Southern Division of the Southern District of Mississippi and elsewhere, the defendant Joseph Alfredo Vasquez Dumars did knowingly and willfully transmit in interstate and foreign commerce a communication containing a threat to injure the person of another, to wit, a direct message on Facebook threatening to unalive AC, which is Ashlee Cole, Warren Hudson's stepmother. All in violation of Title 18 United States Code Section 875C, notice of intent to seek criminal forfeiture. As a result of committing an offense as alleged in this indictment, the defendant shall forfeit to the United States all property involved in or traceable to property involved in the offense, all phones, all devices, all sources of communication that he could have transmitted these messages. All of those things must be forfeited. So that's basically what they're saying. Anything, including anything you used to commit this crime, must be forfeited. Okay. So they said, including but not limited to all proceeds obtained directly or indirectly from the offense. Further, if any property described above as a result of any act or omission of the defendant, A, cannot be located upon the exercise of due diligence, B, has been transferred or sold to or deposited with a third party, C, has been placed beyond the jurisdiction of the court, D, has been substantially diminished in value, or E, has been commingled with other property which cannot be divided without difficulty, then it is the intent of the United States to seek a judgment of forfeiture of any other property of the defendant up to the value of the property described in this notice or any bill of particulars that are supporting it, all pursuant to Title 18, which he's being charged with, United States Code Section 981A1C, and Title 28, United States Code Section 2461. So this guy's in a whole heap of trouble. Whole heap. Okay, let's see what this says. The notice of maximum penalty. Yeah, they trying to hit him. 5 years is the maximum. So they say interstate transmission. This is the actual charge. Interstate transmission of a threatening communication, 18 USC 875C. They said not more than 5 years. So he can be charged, I'm sentenced to not more than 5 years, not more than a $250,000 fine, which in a case like this, they're going to give him all the maximums because they're trying to make an example. Many people are sending threatening communications, not only to her family, the Wells' family is getting them. I heard Katie's been getting some messages. Anybody involved, people that's on social media that's even covering this case right now are getting threats as well. So you can understand what's happening. But as far as a judge goes, you're threatening a judge, you're threatening to send booms to locations. You know, people not playing with those types of threats, but then you're threatening small minor children. And yeah, and after you threaten small minor children, besides that, you actually have some weird charges on your record. You know what I'm saying? You actually been charged with some crazy things. So they're gonna make an example out of him. They're gonna be mad that they only could give him 5 years of imprisonment based upon what this actual charge is. Okay. They said not more than 3 years. This is post supervised release. After you get released, you got to do post release probation or parole type things. Yeah. So you can't get more than 3 years of post supervised release and $100 special assessment. Okay. So that's all that he can get dealt with. Okay. We can see this. They asked, is the defendant a juvenile? No. Does it matter to be sealed? Yes. So they're going to seal this case because they want it sealed. Okay. So it's not going to be, it's going to be on Pacer, but they might seal the case. So when you go and look it up on Pacer, it's going to be sealed. I hope they don't seal it up that quick because I got Pacer and I like to actually dive into this case right here because this is pretty crazy. And this is one of the first of its kind. And I think that this is going to change the game for people that think they could just make online threats and communications like that and not understand that, look, you think you hide in, you think that your IP address can't be connected, that's associated to you because you just created some more random screen name. But even the internet service providers and all of these things that you're using, the connection that you're connected to, all of these things come into play. Crazy work, man. Again, you see the name on the alias, but this is his actual name, no alias, Joseph Alfredo Vasquez Dumars. The AUSA, the assistant district attorney, AUSA, Hunter McCrate. Oh, the GA bar, they show the bar number. His bar number started with 728. I think that's more of a fairly new U.S. attorney, I think. I think older ones start with zeros, if I'm not mistaken, as far as the bar, when you pass the bar. I think the older ones start with, I think, 00, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, the interpreter, no, they don't need an interpreter because this person is a Latino, most likely, with the name Joseph Alfredo Vasquez Dumars. Probably, my guess, probably a Latino male. And he has one count. That's the one charge that he has, which is the transmission of the communication, which is Title 18, USC 875C. Ooh, this is a rough one for him, for real. They said, following the unaliving of Nolan Wells, his parents, Elmore and Christine Wansley, hired civil rights attorney Ben Crump to conduct an independent investigation into the circumstances surrounding their son's unaliving. The Jackson County Sheriff's Department is leading the unaliving investigation with assistance from local and state and federal agencies. Jackson's County Sheriff John Ledbetter had said the investigation remains active and ongoing. Chancery courts in Mississippi handle legal issues, including equity disputes, family law, estate matters, and land record cases. And chancery judges, also like Ashlee Cole, she's a chancery judge, also called chancellors, typically hear trials without a jury present. So Cole is a judge for the state's 16th Chancery District, which covers George, covers Greene, and covers Jackson counties in Mississippi. So it's just a rough one for this guy, man. It's a bad situation. Very, very bad situation for him. This is crazy. Absolutely crazy. I'm going to pull up her actual channel so we can see exactly what the messages were and you can kind of see it for yourself. I want to pull it up bigger. So hold up. Let me see. Ashlee Cole. Let's pull up her channel bigger. Okay, boom. Zoom it in a little bit. Okay, cool. So again, those are the messages. Yeah, so this is the first one. This is the first one she responded to the actual threats that she was receiving. This is the first one that she responded to. She said, "We have decided that we will not be speaking to the press at this time. The media is not the appropriate forum to further elaborate on the facts of July 4th, 2026. We realize that the truth will not stop the calls for the unaliving of our small children. We have not had the opportunity to speak to the Wells Wansley family and to their attorney. However, we are willing to directly communicate with attorney Ben Crump and the Wells Wansley family. We will provide them with all the information known to us so that their family can rest and properly mourn. We also want to know what happened to Nolan as well, and we will do everything within our power to assist the Nolan family in their quest for answers." Okay, so you see that they have that there. This is when they went into the messages. Okay, this is the one of the messages that he put. Look, there'll be a package coming next few days. We're gonna blow you away when you see it. Probably best to have the boys there to see it as well, which is scary as hell. Somebody threatening your small minor children. You know, you see what they say is going to be hard to clean, especially from a boat. Um, Okay, this is the full message thread of what he was saying. And then maybe 10 seconds or less to ask God for forgiveness, which is pretty crazy. This is all of the mail and the messages that they're getting. Look, she just is scrolling. Some is not look cooked, coward. You know what I mean? Some people lying shit. You know what I'm saying? You see the messages. Some people accountability along with your son's friends. Look, mad people is hitting her up. Mad people. I mean, so any one of these people, depending on the threats that they were saying, I mean, can be arrested. So you got to be very, very careful online. We think that it's all freedom of speech and you could just say what you want to say to anybody. But if a person hires or retains a lawyer, subpoenas YouTube, YouTube has to give up the IP address of how that communication was sent over or transmitted over through YouTube servers. And this is how you get found out, just like Joseph Alfredo, Alvarado, I mean, whatever the name, Alvarado Vasquez Dumars. You know what I'm saying? This is how you get caught up, bro. So you think it can't happen, but that's a federal charge. And they're going to give him 5 years. Don't get it twisted. He's going to get the max of that sentence. They're going to be mad that they can't give him more, especially when they look into your background and see that you had things with children and exposing yourself and all of those other weird stuff. And now you over here threatening children as well. What are you talking about, bro? When you release, they say you ain't supposed to be around kids. You ain't supposed to be saying nothing about kids. You ain't supposed to be with nothing with kids. You on the registry list, brother. See what I'm saying? So then you over here threatening kids and a judge's kids at that? Are you serious? Oh, nah. He in a whole heap of trouble. That man in a whole heap, homie. Sandals of Jesus, he on a whole heap of troubles. But yeah, that's not good for him, straight up. Okay. I do want to go into a next message. This is the full message of what I was just reading when she said she had to deactivate the account. All right, let me zoom it a little bit closer for y'all so you can see it clearly. Is that good for y'all? Ooh, I'll bring it like that for y'all if y'all want me to. Hey, oh, perfect, right? And is it maxed? Okay, cool. It says, our family, along with the community, grieves the loss of Nolan Wells. Our thoughts and prayers are with the Nolan's family. Our son, Warren, loved Nolan dearly. Unfortunately, I feel that it is appropriate for our family to dispel some of the rumors that fact based upon social media attention that is being diverted away from the Wells family and their loss. Yes, I deactivated my Facebook account. Given the very heightened emotional state of social media right now, I fear for the safety of my child and my minor children. My husband and I have 6 children, and we covet their privacy. We do not believe that it is appropriate for our minor children's photographs to be circulated throughout the internet, presenting potential threats to their safety. I graduated high school with Christine. This is a very important part. You see what I'm saying? And Bart, the one that went circling around YouTube when they said that he was with Katie, which he's suing content creators now because he said he wasn't with Katie, and don't even know her. He met her on the day of 4th of July when she was there with Nolan. And that girl that's circulating in the image was not Katie. This is what Bart's lawyers have said. But Bart's father actually is a doctor as well. I think like a surgeon, top surgeon or something like that. But he works at the same hospital, which I think is named Memorial Hospital in Mississippi. But look at her. She said, I graduated high school. So these people know each other. You know what I'm saying? These people are closely connected. You know what I mean? And this is just a sad situation. Sad situation. She said, I graduated from high school with Christine Wells Wansley, and we are from the same community. I have the utmost respect for her and all of the Wells' family. We mourn the loss of Nolan with them, and our prayers have been and will continue to be with them. My husband and I were not at Horn Island at any point on 4th of July. No one in our family is trying in any way to impede with the investigation by law enforcement or otherwise to hamper the family and law enforcement's quest for answers. Warren was interviewed by the Jackson County Sheriff's Department and cooperated fully. He saw Nolan last at around 3 p.m. on July 4th. They left around 4:30 p.m. when the boat was taking on water and they had an issue with the bilge pump. Nolan made a decision to stay on that island and return inland later with another group of friends. Yes, I am a judge. I also value transparency. I apologize if anyone was offended that I deleted my social media. There were no nefarious motivations in my deleting my social media. Social media has a lot of positives, but then again, has a whole lot of negatives. We live in a world of clickbaiting, sad but true. And my family is hopeful that this information will help to redirect the attention to the Wells family, their grief, and their need for our community's support. And close quote. So that's what Ashlee Cole had to say about the whole situation as well, man. So it's just a crazy situation this guy has found himself in. I think he actually played himself. Congratulations, you played yourself. He most definitely played himself. This guy, Joseph Alvarado, Vasquez Dumarche, I think he played himself, man, with this, man. Especially when you got those kind of wild charges on your back already with some minor charges, and then you jump out the window and do this. I just think it's so foolish, man. I just think it's so foolish, man, for him to have done this. It's just retarded. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, a lot of time people think just because you're doing an online communication that it can't happen to you. You know what I mean? And this needs to be very, you know what I mean? Like paid attention to. You know what I mean? Many people are sending threats online. You're saying the most to people. You're mad at people. You're doing the most with people, children, all type of stuff like that. You can have a case pending. You can have a case pending, just like this guy, Joseph Alfredo Vasquez Dumarce. You could have a case. You know what I mean? It shows where we are technologically, where we are digitally. And it just goes to show you that the FBI and certain departments and offices, such as the FBI, their reach is far. You know what I'm saying? And they have many ways to track down a suspect. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, this guy's cooked. It seems like he's gonna get the 5 years. Most likely he's gonna get the $250,000 fine. I don't know what this man was doing for work, but I doubt you have the money to pay for that. And they're gonna give him the 3 years post supervision after he gets released. He's going to get that as well. These are facts. These are all facts. All facts. So, first arrest has been made. And it seems like a few others, because they even went to messages referring to some of that among other people. Okay, so this was probably one of the most serious threats, which is the boom threat, and the kids and everybody, you know what I'm saying, till the lips turn red and lips turn and the eyes turn red and lips turn blue and all this other stuff. You know what I mean? So I think that this is an example that is being made in this case. There are many threats that are flying all over the place in relation to this case, depending on what side you're on. People on the one side is getting threats, people on the Wells side, people on, you know what I mean, on the boys' side, the young men's side is getting threats. There's threats being flown all the way around. But I think this also opens that door for the Wells Wansley family to probably start to seek some justice as well from some of these people that are trying to detract or distract them from staying focused on actually getting that transparent investigation that they're seeking for their son, you know. And I salute to them, though. I salute to that family, man. You know what I mean? I most definitely salute to Christine Wells Wansley. I salute to her. She's been so strong. Even today, during the press conference that they had today, they even pulled in Daniel Irving and Smith's parents and grandmother into their press conference, which gave their children a more light on their situation. And I think that was very selfless to do, because the press conference could have been just about Nolan Wells, but they made it also about two other young Black boys, 18 years old, around that same age as Nolan, that also passed away under some very suspicious circumstances. You know what I'm saying? I think his name was Ty Smith, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna look more into that case as well. You know, that was a bad situation. Even Daniel Irving's case, you know, where they said he jumped off the bridge, off the railroad bridge, and he ended up being in the water. They said he resurfaced once and then went underwater, but then the mother came up today to speak on his behalf and said that he was very good in the water. He knew how to swim. I think he was on a swimming team as well. And then the two boys that was with him wasn't this color, obviously, but they actually hid information. They actually threw his clothes into the tree line, right? Deleted messages and phone records, all type of, I think threw his phone away, all type of stuff like that. Denied everything. They were saying one of the boys has been arrested now, right? At first they were saying, like, you know what I mean, he just drowned, you know what I mean? But come to find out, one of the boys has been arrested, okay? But the craziest thing, he's not being arrested for homicide. He's being arrested for like tampering with evidence. After, and they said there was no, I think his airways wasn't impeded or like stopped in any way, so he didn't drown. So they actually found out that he didn't drown, I think, as well. So this is what's another scary part about, or another sketchy part, I should say, instead of scary, more sketchy part about Nolan Wells' case as well, because when they received the body in autopsy, they received the body without the throat innards, with the inside of the throat muscles, you know. So if whether you're being this, right, you can see my hands, right? Whether you're being that or you're drowning, it's ways that you could tell if a person drowns, because also when you're drowning, your throat muscles spasm. You spasm as you take in water, your throat muscles spasm. So it kind of could look similar to you being this. See what I'm saying? So we understand that. I think the Jackson County's office, they said that they're not going to be releasing the throat insides of something like that. They're not going to be releasing those until it's given to a grand jury. We do know that. They haven't spoken to anything towards about the discoloration behind the head of Nolan, the reddish color or the discoloration of why the back of his head would be discolored. It's just a nasty situation, man. Very, very, very tragic situation all around the boards, man. Especially for all three of these young Black males that passed away under suspicious circumstances. All right. So, but salute to, like, again, because even when Daniel, when Irvin's mom went up, she was kind of holding back the tears, and she had to take her time. And she's never probably been on a platform that big, what I mean, to speak about her case and the situation. I think it was her and her daughter there as she spoke, and you could see that she was even getting choked up. You can only understand that a person getting choked up. This is your child, what I mean, from a baby, man. You know what I mean? They done passed away. It's just, you will never get over that feeling. You know what I mean? But it just attested for me to Christine Wells Wansley's strength, because she was speaking and she almost got cracked, like choked up a little bit, but she kept it straight up through, you know what I'm saying? And she spoke, and, I mean, that's one of the hardest things to do, you know what I mean? Is to speak about something so tragic like that over and over and over. You know what I mean? No matter how many times you speak about it, it doesn't get any easier. You know what I mean? The emotion never gets detached from that. So I give her a lot of credit. Even the father was there choking up a little bit when he was trying to say what he was saying and fumbling on little words and stuff like that. But you know what I mean? So shout out to the both of them, man. Shout out for the both of them for being selfless as well in a time where they haven't even received all the answers about their own son, to extend their platform and their views and the light that's on their case, their tragedy and this tragic case, to highlight some other children besides their son Nolan. And I think that attests to the kind of people that Christine and Elmore is. You know what I mean? I don't know them personally. We all don't know them, right? I'm from the other side of earth, right? But I think it just attests to the kind of people that they are, you know what I mean? Kind of being selfless. And yeah. So my heart does go out to them. Again, RIP to Nolan Wells. My condolences to the family and everybody that loves him or loved him. And, I hope they do get the justice that they deserve and that they're seeking, at least get the answers that they're trying to gather. Salute to them for doing their own independent investigation, because I think that that's lit a fire upon the investigators to know that, listen, man, we got to try to do this as clean as we can, try to have this as transparent as we can, or we got to at least turn over some stones, that even if they were thinking to not turn over certain stones, that they have to turn those stones over based on the independent investigation, man. And salute to everybody that's been donating to them as well, man. They got another $100,000 that they spoke of today in the press conference. Besides Kaepernick paying, I think, for the funeral, besides Tyler Perry donating money, a few other people that they said as well. I can't remember. A couple of other people as well donated to their cause. And yeah, man, to do these types of things, investigations independently, these things cost money. These things take buku bucks. We got a chance to see Carmelo Anthony's lawyers come out and speak on the press conference as well. Brooke Cluse, and another one of his lawyers, because Carmelo actually has 6 lawyers now, right? All this wonder team that is fighting his appeal for him. We heard Brooke Cluse today, and we heard another one of those lawyers. I think his name is Sean Dearday or something like that. So he got a chance to speak. They spoke pretty strongly. They spoke pretty strongly, and his whole defense team is not all black, because one of the people is, I don't know if he's Indian or Spanish. Could be an Indian background, maybe. The Sean guy, Sean Dearday, or whatever his name is. So yeah, so we got our first look at them and seeing how they're talking, because we know that Brooke Cluse works for Ben Crump's law firm. So yeah, man. So we still waiting for some updates on Carmelo Anthony's case as well. I'm going to be reaching back out to the court reporter as well, just to see how long do we think the appellate process is going to be. They should have been up and over and done already, so that I can go about acquiring the transcripts. She already messaged me before and told me that after the appeals process, I'll be able to get the transcripts, but I have to purchase them, is what she told me. She didn't give me a specific number on what I'm going to need to purchase them, but I'm going to go about purchasing them anyway. But yeah, man, if you want to contribute to the channel, You can super chat, Cash App, Udo on Go, PayPal, Udo on Go, especially if you want Udo to obtain certain documents like those transcripts for the Carmelo Anthony trial or any other documents that I need to obtain. So yeah, I thank you for viewing. I thank y'all for just being a part of this, man. Just being a part of this. Keep the family in your prayers. You know what I mean? Again, regardless of Warren's being on that island and his mom there, I don't wish anything bad on their children. I don't think that this guy, Joseph Alfredo Vasquez Dumars, should be threatening people, threatening people's children. At the end of the day, this event really comes from the children, the young guys, Nolan and the boys that was on the island. Katie was there, the people that were there. The parents weren't there. You know what I'm saying? Like even in Carmelo's case, you know what I'm saying? Austin and Austin's mom, his father, even if you think his father's a racist, whatever, they weren't there. You know what I mean? Carmelo's father and mom, they weren't there. This is all happened between their children. And I know that nobody wanted this for their children. You know what I mean? Nobody, you don't even have to have a heart. You know what I'm saying? You don't want that for your children, man. Come on. So, but when it's your child, you're deeply associated with it. You're connected to it. You're going to get a lot of blame for anything your child does. And which led to this guy right here threatening her family, and her small-minded children. And for me, I just think it's all about protecting the children. You must protect the children at all costs. Children are innocent, regardless of the fact, regardless of what their brother did, regardless of what their mother did, regardless of what their father did. Children are innocent. You know what I mean? And we must start to get back to protecting children. They say it takes a village to raise a child, but I also think it takes a village to protect the child as well. And I think it takes a village to raise any one of us up and protect any of us as well. So we can't lose that village mindset. We got to do things together, and we got to be on go together. You know what I mean? It's good to think like individuals, but we must come together in somehow, some way, and be on go together, on go for each other, and help to protect each other. Anybody that's against you, me, or anyone, the best thing that they could wish for is that we be separated. It's the best chance of anything is for us to always be separated. You know what I mean? So if you're a man listening to my voice today, make sure you're helping the younger guy, man, helping the younger boy, dropping some jewels on him, talking to him, telling him some things that can help him maybe avoid some bad situations, being in the streets, or, picking up a weapon, or, you know what I mean? Maybe doing alcohol or drugs or whatever it is, man. You know what I'm saying? Just give them some insight, give them some longitudes and some latitudes of what they could be facing by going down certain roads. And if you're a woman listening to my voice, do the same for a young woman, do the same for some young girls out here. Talk to them about all of these things out here. Talk to them about following around some knuckleheads thinking that you in love with the bad boy and you're doing this and you're doing that. Talk to these young girls, talk to these young women. Help them to avoid some of the things that you've seen in your life. Help them to avoid some of the tragedies that you've been a part of, relationship wise or any otherwise. Safety concerns, safety wise, all of that. You know what I mean? Maybe how to dress, all types of things. You know what I mean? Talk to these young girls. Want my guys to talk to these young guys, even if we're never accredited for the help that we can give a young person. It's not about us getting credit. To me, all my credit gives and comes from God and comes from Jesus. That's where it all goes for me. That's where it all comes from for me. But yeah, whether you're accredited or not doesn't matter. The children are the future, and if you want to put a stake in helping the future, that's how you do it, by helping a child today. So make sure you're helping someone. All right. Salute to all of y'all, man. I'm gonna look for any other updates on this case, and I'll be up at it, man. I'll try to go live early. If I see another thing that I want to update now, I'll start up another live and I'll read some other stuff to you or show you what I want to show you. There's a few things that I can document and show you too, but I'm gonna try to get up early tomorrow, maybe like 6ish, and do a live on some things. Because there's a few things that I've been seeing. Be it on Don Lemon, be it on Nancy Grace's channel, be it a few other things that I've seen online. I'm gonna try to go about updating y'all on this case. So stay safe, stay blessed, stay true to yourselves. But one thing, first and foremost, stay on go. Make sure you stay on go. All right. And remember, we got to go together. Straight. It's the only way to get through anything that we really gonna go through is by going together, man. Straight up. There's no color on a real person. There's no color on a good person. Just because people are being racist to you and us or anybody doesn't mean that we have to be. They say racism is a learned trait, a learned behavior. I understand when you go through things to fight back and you just weaponize the same thing that a person does to you. And I understand we're all human. We're all human. No one's perfect. But love is the only thing that could conquer hate. Stay on go, y'all. Uda, Uda, Uda. Always on go. All my niggas from the Uda. All my niggas turn shooters. All my